Hi Libra, how are you? Welcome to your little check-in. Hi Libra, how are you? It's me, LB. Welcome to Tarot with March. Welcome to your little end of July check-in. I just said welcome so many times. Hi Libra, how are you? Welcome in. We have a few things to talk about today. I want to shuffle. Hi Libra, how are you? Welcome in. We have a few things to chit and chat about today. We have the Mystical Shaman Oracle. We have the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle. I have my little mini deck, Libra, and this mini deck, it feels so symbolic because it feels like a little trick or like a little ace up my sleeve. And I feel like there's something in the energy about you having a few tricks up your sleeve too, Libra, and now might be the time to pull them out. I feel like I'm getting this image of a race car driver on a track, and in a split second, they kind of decide all of a sudden to like pump the brakes, shift gear, move into the next lane, and then like start speeding up. There's a slight pivot or shift in how you pursue something moving forward, in how you show up, or even how like you position yourself within your purpose or your promise. I say that because on the Shufflemancy, which is a form of music divination, and I'll put the song in the description box for you in case you want to listen to it for yourself, you had the song Seven Nation Army come out, but it wasn't the classic Seven Nation Army from the White Stripes. This was a cover by a French artist called Ben Leunkel Soul. He's incredibly talented, and the song in and of itself, it's really jumpy. I think I could play you like 3 seconds of it before they'll copyright me. It's funky, it's jazzy, it has a little pep in its step, differently than the original. This version has a bit more swagger to it. And I think because of that, and because Seven Nation Army is a song about defense, about showing up in a position of strength, right? I'm gonna fight them all. A Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. That there's something, it gives me the feeling of competition, it gives me the feeling of industry, it gives me the feeling of you trying to make a way or make a name or make a place for yourself in this world. And how you've maybe been showing up, how you've been competing, how you've been, again, positioning yourself as a person of power, is how I wanna phrase that. I don't feel like it's been as effective as you would have liked it to be. And so there's something about you taking on a slightly different character, or you pulling out a slightly different aspect of yourself, or like that race car driver, all of a sudden going, whoa, and hitting the brakes, changing the gear, moving over, speeding up. There's a slight remix for you as well that I think is really going to set you apart. And I'm hearing Speed Racer, and I'm literally seeing you like plowing up the highway or like plowing through the track really, really quickly. And some of it, again, it has to do with these little tricks up your sleeve that sometimes you don't use as often as you could or you should. It almost feels like there's certain tricks or keys or talents that you have to like make things go the way you want, and it feels like you oftentimes don't play them because you associate these tricks with your shadow. Like, oh, if I turn on my charm as a Venusian, then it'll just be too easy. You're consistently putting yourself in positions where you have to work harder than you need to, and harder than you should, and harder than I want to say like than we want you to. Some of that excess energy, it's for other stuff. It's not always for the thing that you think it needs to be applied to. Like for some reason you make things harder on yourself because you feel like you have to take the long way around. I wonder if, I don't know, you heard a lot about, oh, it must be so easy for you, Libra, growing up, that like you learned how to take the long way around, even if like you didn't need the scenic route. And again, not playing to certain strengths or charms or tricks that you have up your sleeve, even spiritual gifts that sometimes you may actually abuse in their use for others. others and in service of others, when they're actually intended to be like reinvested like in yourself. Spiritual people oftentimes have a really terrible time using their blessings and their gifts for themselves. The Sweat Lodge, card number 54, that breaks down to 9, very independent number. So the Sweat Lodge obviously brings up this idea of pressure and heat. And so I'm wondering if you are entering into a month, a season, dog days, a summer, where you're looking around and you're noticing some competition, or you're seeing something that is really desirable or tasty for you, something that you're like, you know what? The heat is on. And maybe even there's just a sense of pressure of like, if I want to break through, I have to add a little bit more pressure. And in our collective reading on the Patreon, I did a 15-minute reading for the week. There was this idea of like that 1% extra every day to get us over the hump. And I feel like for you, you're noticing that like things feel too neck and neck, shoulder to shoulder. You have to do something different to differentiate yourself, whether it's how you're showing up, or again, how you're positioned in your power. Are you even using it? I also feel part of this heat and this pressure, Libra, might also be, I feel slightly offended. I feel offended that people don't take me seriously enough to consider me competition. I'm offended that people don't take what I'm saying as like truth. I'm offended that people don't see me in like the fullness of my art. It's like, I feel offended that I'm being overlooked. That's how I feel. Like, I feel it right here, like right in my heart. I feel it right in my ego. And so I think there's something in there about you being kind of annoyed and offended. Like, you know what? How dare you overlook me? I'm going to put a little pressure on these people around here. And so all of a sudden, like there's something that kicks up and the lights come on and the hair goes out. And all of a sudden it's like, Libra, like what you think this will, like there's something really kind of like funny and like fun and sort of, again, like delicious and like dangerous. You're peacocking a little bit in a different way, but again, how you compete with others, how you show up, how you maneuver your different lanes, similar to this Seven Nation Army song, right? At the core of it, it's like this is about progress, this is about power, this is about force of life. But like how you're doing it, it has grace, it has swagger, it has charm. It's soft around the edges. It's like you're like an iron fist in a velvet glove right now, if that makes sense to you. You have the Whale. So there's also this deeper matriarchal force. I associate whales with like the fullness of like a matriarchal line of the mother goddesses, of the ocean as the belly and the womb of creation, right? And so I also feel like there's a lot of like backing for you, especially those of you that sit in and resonate with feminine energy, of a lot of this like divine feminine kind of support, kind of like pushing on you emotionally from like the inside out. There's also a lot of deep alchemization. There might be moments right now throughout this Mercury retrograde where you're reminded of times that you were discarded or dismissed or overlooked, and finding yourself kind of like pissy about them, annoyed about them again, but then realizing from your higher mind that now you have the tools to not only identify them when they're coming up as exactly what they are, but then take the time to transmute them into personal power, into fuel, into momentum to push you forward. It's like when a whale comes up from the deep, it's not like a goldfish, like it has an impact. And so I think there's also something here about your desire to have a greater impact in the world, but recognizing that in order to have that impact, that you need to throw more of your weight behind what you're doing. Does that make sense? Here we have the octopus behind more of what you're doing, which is seemingly a lot. I'm hearing pick up sticks, pick up game. I'm also seeing like night basketball with like the street lights on, like in the court, that kind of thing. The fish in reverse. Things have not been flowing in the direction that you want them. Fish speak to community, they speak to fluidity, they speak to fertility, abundance coming in, right? And mostly because we are in flow, in the flow of life. This in reverse says that you are clocking that you haven't been in the flow. Things haven't been flowing in the way that you would like them to. Ooh, my left eye, something's in my left eye all of a sudden. That maybe, again, like there's aspects of spiritual guidance that comes through for you that you may automatically interpret it as shadow because it feels ugly ugly and you're ruled by Venus. And so whenever you feel anything ugly, even if it's not, you automatically want to start smoothing it and like combing its hair and making it into something else. Even though like that shadow, it is beauty. It says like, no, peacock, stick your feathers out. This is part of how we perform. This is part of how we raise energy. Does that make sense? So there's also a connection here between lack of abundance, lack of flow, lack of blessing, being connected to lack of intimacy with one's shadow, not respecting it, not using it as a resource. When it says, go flex on that person over there. Don't you let anybody. It reminds me actually of in the Hunger Games, the first movie, when all of the tributes are doing their training and Katniss goes to Peeta and says, those kids, they're looking at you like you're a meal. Go pick up that thing and throw it because they need to know how strong you are. So there's something about that as well. Let's see, is there something about these tricks up the sleeve for Libra that want to come through? Oh, the Six of Cups is coming out. It is coming out in reverse though. So there also might be something about your story being sort of self-made. I see the Six of Cups as a card of mentorship. And so there might be a very valuable lesson you learned from a very cruel or irresponsible leader or teacher in your youth that is coming back around. They have helped you understand how to navigate around people that are also like them. There's something in there. There's something about your story as being self-made, not being mentored, not being incorporated, having to kind of get it out the mud, as the kids say. That feels really significant here as well. It's so interesting that as a Venusian, people are drawn to you, but you're not always drawn to people, if that makes sense. And understanding that is somehow like a trick up your sleeve. Like, you know how to get the people going. Like, you know, almost like a conductor, like how to inspire certain things out of those around you, out of a crowd even, perhaps, an audience. And for you, it's all showmanship. There's the Three of Swords that comes up next with the Emperor. You have a tremendous ability to alchemize your pain and your frustration into personal power, into strength and defense, into even like spiritual protection, I want to say. The Three of Swords oftentimes comes through as an abundance and of ideas that create kind of a jam or like a blockage of sorts. I like with the Emperor here, there's something about your ability to pull rank or to be like the judge, be the decider. Actually, I will be the one who chooses one of these swords because no one else can do it. So there's something about, even if people don't like your leadership style, when push comes to shove, in many instances, you're the only one who's able to compartmentalize their pain enough to actually show up and get the job done. That goes right back into this not needing permission, not needing a mentor, not needing someone to go, Libra, you can go now. You're self-motivated in a way that other people aren't. Yeah, the Two of Cups, and that draws people to you. People are drawn to your strength, Libra, just as much as they are drawn to your aesthetics, to your softness, to your ability to balance and harmonize. They're also attracted to your ability to like kick the door in as well. And again, I think there's a happy medium here, like that song. It's bouncy, it's jazzy, it's got a little charm, and it's got a little swagger to it. It's not too hard and it's not too soft. But your ability to figure out, this is what it is, your ability to, I'm gonna put these cards down because we don't need it after this. Your ability to figure out what is the Goldilocks perfect bowl of porridge for other people is a skill that is unmatched, and it is an important skill that you have up your sleeve that you should be using. The blind spot and the shadow spot comes in when you don't know what your perfect bowl of porridge is for you. That's when you run into trouble, and that's what we're going to get into in your extended reading. So if you're interested, Libra, we're going to go figure out what is your Goldilocks moment. What are more of these tricks that are up your sleeves, and how is this playing out for you over the next few weeks? I love you. Make sure you check your Shufflemancy song in the description box, and make sure you get your monthly reading for July, and for August is coming up in the next few days too. And I am open for personal readings if you feel called to it. All of that will be below. I love you, and I'll see you next time, Libra. Goodbye.